Hi, welcome back to Real Auto Reports here at Real Auto Ranch. And yes, we get a little bit of airplane noise, but we get some pretty cool cars to test out here in the middle of nowhere. This is the real video on the 2013 Jaguar XJL, but this is no ordinary XJL. This is the all-wheel drive, which means it has the all-new for 2013 3.0-Liter V6 Supercharged engine, 340 horsepower. We're going to give you more details and everything we hope you want to know. So let's jump in the driver's seat, hit the road, and see what this beautiful cat has to offer. All right, so here we are in the 2013 Jaguar XJL. Yes, this is the long wheelbase, and even more special, it's the 3.0 V6 all-wheel drive, and it's supercharged. This is a pretty cool car, and I really have become very smitten with it over driving it over the last week. We've put a ton of miles on this because it's just so lovely to drive. I mean, taking it around, taking 4 people around in comfort, luxury, and style. And so I'm going to cover for you all the things you want to know. And at an $86,000+ price tag, this is going to be a hard vehicle for many to afford. But if you can afford one, or you're looking to buy one in a year or so, this is quite the, really the bargain for all-wheel drive. So the XJL, just to jump right in, is the long wheelbase. This will give you 5 inches of extra rear legroom, and it's well worth it because the car does not feel that big when you're driving it. It has a very coupe-like feel to it. It feels powerful, it feels sporty, and with this new 3-liter V6 engine, what you have is the supercharged aspect, so it's got that extra power, but it is a super smooth application. If I just put it down on the floor here, you see it gets down into the gear and it just immediately jumps up. It is an 8-speed automatic transmission that you can shift manually with the paddle shifters if you flick it over into S mode. And yes, this does have the similar thing to the XF that we reviewed a while ago now, where the shifter does disappear down into the console when you turn the car off, and it rises back up to meet your hand when you turn the car on. One of the things I like about these Jags is that they just have such it's like sensory overload in this car. You smell the suede headliner. This is a premium suede cloth headliner. If you go up to the Ultimate package in the XJL, you're going to get a leather headliner. Actually, in the Super Sport you will too, which is above this. This is the XJL Portfolio. So this is really going to be where they probably are going to see the most Jags sold. And it's got the lovely Meridian sound system, the oak wood veneer on the inside. You have the leather wrapped wheel, but no, it is not a wood and leather wrapped wheel. You have to get that when you go up to the higher end package. And so what does all this mean? Well, it means that this vehicle is superb to drive. It has a lovely feel. The leather's nice and soft. It's actually a matte leather on the wheels, so you don't get that sense that you're rubbing the finish off. It's actually a multi-tuck here, so you've got a nice groove here, and it's a nice sensory feel. You find you put your thumbs along it. The other thing about the Jag is that you have all of this detail around the chrome. Chrome, even if it's plastic, it's chrome everywhere. And I really like that about this car. It gives it a sense that you've bought something rich and inviting. And then you've got this digital instrument cluster. Now, keep in mind that a lot of this that I'm telling you is nothing new. Because in 2009, when they unveiled this car in London, this design has pretty much stayed the same. This wrap-around dashboard that I love, this flatness on the inside. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I guess why change a good thing? We're only 4 model years later, and 2013, and I doubt it'll change for 14. They will change it one day, and then we'll have to look at what they've done. But this car has it's what you expect out of a luxury brand, and probably not what you expect out of Jaguar. I think people have gotten the sense that these cars they're finicky and they don't perform well because they're always in the shop. I mean, how many times have you heard, "Oh gosh, I wouldn't want to fix a Jag," you know? These cars have gotten increasingly better ratings with JD Powers. Their Jag stands behind them. Jaguar is an exclusive brand. It's a low volume car company. They don't make nearly as many of these XJs as they make of, that Toyota makes of an LS460. And there's such a different driving experience. This has the sense that it's very performance oriented, that you can really just get away with going up into the mountains with this full-size sedan and just getting some good old-fashioned curves and driving fun out of your system. And the Jaguar performance lineage and just that suspension and all of that stuff that comes from all those years of the XK120s and the XKEs is right here today in the 2013 XJL. And with this new 3-liter V6 Supercharged, you might think, well, in my real first impressions, I said it was the slowest XJ you can buy. And indeed, in the all-wheel drive with the long wheelbase, this is the slowest XJ you can buy at 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds. I guess the funny part about that is I would have never known that unless I looked up the specs. This car, so we come to a stop sign here and we step on the gas. It kicks you back in your seat and we're at a mile high. It feels fast. It's sensor. You hear the rumble in the back of the car from the exhaust. You get this crisp shift into the next gear. You've got a dynamic mode. I'm not even in sport mode, and we've got a dynamic mode that you could put it in, and it would, react even more vigorously. You can put it in sport mode. Well, you put it in sport and dynamic, and the gauges turn red from the dynamic mode here. That's this checkered flag that you can press. It's excellent, and I think that Jag has come such a long way from the unfortunate quality control issues of the early 90s, and features like heated steering wheel, heated and cooled driver, passenger, and rear seats. Yes, that is heated and ventilated, all seats all the way around. The only one that's going to miss out is the one sitting in the middle of the back if you're carrying around 5 people. Now, the other neat thing is that this has 4-zone climate control. So each main passenger, except for the guy sitting on the hump, will get their own temperature setting, and you control them from the front and the back. So if you have a driver, he can handle it all for you up here on the touch screen in the navigation and entertainment system, or they can do it from the controls located back here in the center console, right in between the front seats. I think it's excellent. It's got a nice armrest. You have cup holders. Now, the cup holders in that rear armrest, you got to mention these things. They're a little small. For some of our big American drinks, they don't fit, so you end up using the side tray next to it that's supposed to hold things like phones. Well, anything in a pinch. Some other really nice features, though, you've got this roll top type of application here in the front console where the 2 cup holders are. And what I love about the design of this Jag is this is a fairly high console. So when you're sitting down in these bucket seats, you're sitting in a very sports position. You've got the adjustable bolsters here on the front seats, so they squeeze in or they squeeze out. And everything feels like it's right at your fingertips. No matter how tall or short you are, I think everything in this car is going to be pretty well placed for you. And even so, these pillars are fairly narrow. So when you're driving, even if you're shorter, you're not going to have this big, massive pillar up here in the front. Yet these cars are still very safe. Lots of airbags if number of airbags tells you anything about a car. But these cars are engineered impeccably. And I guess that's what you're paying for. You know, I did a comparison, and you'll have to go watch it. There's a comparison coming up here on Real Auto Reports. It's a real comparison that says what's the difference between the new 2014 Kia Cadenza and this Jaguar XJL. Well, I'll tell you the biggest comparison difference is the appointments. Sorry to be a spoiler, but you'll have to go see what I mean when I compare and I talk about the two cars. Both are going for the luxury market at very different levels, obviously. So in this Jag, yes, you've got the slower one, but you can only get the all-wheel drive in the 3-liter 6-cylinder supercharged. So in Colorado with inclement weather, I would much rather have the option of having this all-wheel drive and maybe not having the monster, supercharged V8 engine that they produce. And I mean, you can get all the way up with the XJR. If you want to go up there, you're well over 500 horsepower, and you can go 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. If you want an XJL, you'll have to come down a little bit from that. You'll be well over 450 horsepower, I guess, and you'll be doing 0 to 60 in closer to 4.7 seconds. But all of that to say, is this car impeccable, and does it have its place in the Jaguar lineup? Well, of course it does. It's why they decided to unveil this engine. It is something that they saw a gap in the market, and God, is it fun to drive. I mean, you just get up and go in this thing, and while we're talking to you, we've just hit 80 right from that turn. So this is not going to be a bad experience, and I think it's one that is really going to continue to change the Jaguar name. We think that the luxury features in this car are great. Now, a couple nits in this car, and Jag, don't kill me. Jaguar, don't get upset with me about this, but it doesn't have adaptive cruise. I love a driver's car just as much as the next person. I love a driver's car almost probably more than the next person, which is why I think I've fallen so much for this Jag. But it has this feature called ASL, and if you turn it on like that, and then you set it like the cruise control, now I can press all the way down on the accelerator, right there, all the way on the floor. Now I haven't hit the kickdown switch yet. I am not going any faster than 52, where I've set this ASL, this automatic speed limiter, basically. So the speed limiter on this is a neat feature, because if you're driving along and you don't want to go over 75, but you don't want to use the cruise control because maybe, well, it doesn't have adaptive cruise control, so maybe you're in traffic and you're being variable. Once it opens up, you want to make sure you don't get caught by Smokey Bear out on the wide open freeways. And with the supercharger, that could happen. So that's a neat feature, but I really would like to see the cruise control with the, see, I keep moving this thing back and forth because I don't want the camera to be blinded, but I'd really like to see the adaptive cruise control in this car. I think at this price point, a little over $86,000, I think it's warranted, and it fits the temperament of the car as well. It's something, they've got a lot of technology in this car, so I think it's something they should add. Although, that said, you do have lovely features like the stow mode, and you can turn the traction control and all that on and off. You've got automatic headlights, automatic wipers. Now, nowhere does it say on the stock that it's automatic wipers, but if you turn them onto the intermittent, it's very much like the BMWs. It'll be automatic wipers, and it'll turn off and it'll stay off, like it's on right now, actually. And when it starts to rain, they'll come on and the speed will be variable, and it'll take care of you. You've got your entertainment system where you can control everything. A nit there, just for those of you who are wondering, I miss that there's no dial to tune the radio. The push button, everything, the volume you've got to dial, the climate control you've got to dial override, so you've got redundant control. But I would really like to be able to control at least the radio from a tuning perspective. And maybe that's just me personally, but I like to roll the dial to get to things that I know where they are if they're not in my presets. Other than that, this car is great. It has the fold-in, power fold-in mirrors, the blind spot monitoring, the intelligent rear park assist and front park assist. So you've got a lot of good features there. You've got the rear camera, which I like because it's in the lower bumper housing, not necessarily in the it's not in the back trunk lid, so it allows them to sculpt that back trunk lid. And then speaking of the trunk, it's got a power open and a power closer, and I think those are really nice features as well. So all in all, I guess it's hard to be objective about a car like this because the biggest deterrent in this car is the price point. The visibility out of it is pretty good. You're going to feel like you have some people are going to feel claustrophobic because it is a coupe-like roofline and it does stretch all the way back. And so you do have some, with the long wheelbase, some significant blind spots back there. But with the mirrors and the blind spot monitoring, you can overcome it. It's, substance or style, and Jag has gone for style. And I like that they've done that. If you get a chance to test drive or ride in one of these cars, it is definitely worthwhile, especially if you're looking at things like the 7 Series BMW, the Mercedes S-Class, or even the LS. So any of those will be great to cross-compare to this. So make sure you do that, and, I guess we will see what you think in our comments. So until next time, this is Real Auto Reports. We'll have the real wrap-up on this Jaguar XJL coming up next. So that's the real video, the real review on the 2013 Jaguar XJL Portfolio, because this is a really nice package, but it's probably their more generic package, and it's the all-wheel drive with the 3.0-liter, 340 horsepower, supercharged V6. Yes, we know that's a lot to tell you, but this 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds Jaguar is, well, the slowest cat of the pack, if you will, but it offers that all-wheel drive, intelligent all-wheel drive, in fact, capability. So we really like that, actually, especially being in a winter-prone climate here in Colorado. Well, flood-prone as well, apparently. And what we know is that this car will really get you around. It drives impeccably. It has great performance. Even though it seems like it would feel sluggish, it seems really quick out on the road and indeed needs very little accelerator input to make it jump. It has great steering, the ride is comfortable yet firm, and you feel like you can throw this long wheelbase XJ around like a sports sedan. Well, I guess it really is, even though it has 5 inches of extra rear legroom because it is the L. It also has great interior quality, and the piping around the floor mats and on the seats, the heated and cooled seats all the way around. Yes, that means for your front and rear passengers, and 4-zone climate control just make this Jag a joy to drive. You know, it's a lot of money at a little over $86,000 as tested, but I guess that's why people aspire to own these beautiful cars and why they're a low or short production run every year. It's exclusivity at its best, unless you're trying to go to a Bentley or a Rolls-Royce. For Real Auto Reports, I'm Jonathan McGrew, right here at Real Auto Ranch. We'll see you down the road.